She picked up a firefly and put it on her arm. The wound recovered after the fireflies crawled over it, so she misunderstood them, so she apologized softly. Then she saw something. She walks up to the stone wall. There was a map of the dragon's lair. She found where she and the girls had fallen. It was a tree, and the entrance to the dragon's lair. Behind the tree was a burning cave. Through the tunnel, she'll come to a pool of water, and there's the firefly cave, and then she'll continue down the tunnel. That's her safe zone. It's out of the dragon's reach, but how do we get out? Princess, raise the light and continue to look. If she follows this path, she'll pass a three-way intersection. The crystal cave is straight ahead. The crystal cave indicates a place where the sun shines, but the princess suddenly remembered something. Did one of the other girls escape? Why else would she leave such a map? The next moment, the princess saw Hope and tore off her costume. Then she carved her name into the stone wall. Then she followed the map, but just after she passed the fork in the road, she heard the roar of the dragon again. Luckily, the dragon didn't notice her. Turning her head, the princess found Hope. It was a cave of light. She looked up at the light. She realized that this was the crystal cave. She breathed in the sunny air she hadn't seen in a long time. Then she touched the sharp crystals with her hands. Then she didn't hesitate any longer. Just as she put down the firefly lamp, suddenly she found a crown on the ground. She picked it up and looked at it. This crown was identical to her own, and there was a name written on it in letters. The girl's name was Vi. She realized that the girl must have escaped, so she didn't hesitate. She tore off the cloth from her body and tied them to her hands and feet. Then she began to climb, but the crystals were too sharp. Even though the princess used her hands and feet, she still got cuts on her body. But just as she reached the halfway point, a dark shadow suddenly appeared below. It was the dragon, and at that moment, the princess missed her footing. She grabbed the crown with all her might. The dragon looked at the princess with a bloodthirsty look in its eyes. At that moment, the crystal around the crown suddenly broke. The next moment, an accident happened. Luckily, the princess was able to hold on to one of the crystals. She started to climb again on her hands and knees. The dragon didn't seem to be afraid of the princess' escape. It even encouraged the princess to climb quickly. The princess didn't want to talk to him. With the will to survive, the princess climbed step by step with her hands and feet. Finally, she reached the top of the crystal cave. Then she saw the entrance to the cave. She went there with tears in her eyes. But the next moment, Hope turned to despair. This is on a cliff. How could she escape? The next moment she saw the palace in the distance. The palace was so small in her eyes. The princess slowly fell to the ground. Tears streamed down her face. Was she still not going to survive?